First contact. In the year 2157, the people of Earth were going about their lives as usual, unaware that everything was about to change. The morning of April 12th started like any other, with commuters heading to work, students sitting in classrooms, and politicians arguing in government chambers. But at 10:23 am Greenwich Mean Time, a fleet of alien starships dropped out of faster-than-light speeds and took up orbit around the blue planet. The ships belonged to the Zorgans, a technologically advanced species from the Triangulum galaxy. Tall, slender beings with shimmering silver skin and large almond-shaped eyes, the Zorgans had spent centuries expanding their hegemony across dozens of star systems. Earth was to be their next conquest. As the alien vessels hovered ominously above Earth's major cities, a message was broadcast on all frequencies and in all major languages. People of Earth, a melodious voice declared, "We are the Zorgans. We come to you not as conquerors, but as saviors. Your planet is beset by war, poverty, and environmental destruction. Submit to our rule, and we will guide you to a brighter future." The transmission sent shockwaves across the globe. Some panicked, while others celebrated what they saw as humanity's salvation. World leaders convened an emergency summit to formulate a response. After hours of heated debate, they settled on a cautiously welcoming stance. A reply was sent, inviting the Zorgans to send a delegation to the United Nations headquarters in New York for formal first contact talks. A few hours later, a small Zorgan shuttle landed on the front lawn of the UN complex. Out stepped three tall figures in flowing metallic robes, flanked by a phalanx of robotic guards. They were led inside to the General Assembly Hall, where UN Secretary-General Olivia Dias awaited with a delegation of Earth's top diplomats and scientific minds. Ambassador Zylov, leader of the Zorgan delegation, wasted no time with pleasantries. "Secretary-General Dias," he said, his mellifluous voice echoing through the chamber, "let us dispense with formalities. We Zorgans pride ourselves on efficiency. We have studied your species and determined that you require our guidance. Your world is fractured, your technology primitive. Surrender your sovereignty to us, and we will elevate you to heights you cannot imagine." Dias, a tall woman with piercing green eyes and an air of quiet authority, met Zylov's gaze unflinchingly. "Ambassador," she replied, her voice calm but firm, "we appreciate your offer, but we must respectfully decline. Humanity has faced many challenges throughout our history, but we have always overcome them on our own terms. We will not trade our freedom for the promise of an easy solution." Zylov's silver face remained impassive, but a hint of annoyance crept into his voice. "You are making a grave mistake, Secretary-General. We offer you a chance to join a galactic community, to partake in wonders beyond your imagining. Reject us, and you consign yourselves to stagnation and eventual destruction." Dias leaned forward, her eyes narrowing. "Ambassador Zylov, let me make one thing clear. We are not afraid of you. We do not seek conflict, but neither will we back down from a fight. I suggest you think carefully about your next move. Humanity is full of surprises." A tense silence descended over the chamber as human and Zorgan stared each other down. Finally, Zylov rose to his feet, his robes shimmering under the bright lights. "Very well, Secretary-General. You have made your position clear. But know this, the Zorgan hegemony does not take rejection lightly. You have one Earth rotation to reconsider your decision. After that, we cannot guarantee your safety." With that, the Zorgan delegation turned and marched out of the hall, leaving a stunned gathering of humans in their wake. Dias watched them go, her expression grim. She knew this was only the beginning. Earth had just been thrust onto the galactic stage, and the stakes could not be higher. She tapped her earpiece and spoke softly. "Initiate Protocol Epsilon. It's time to show our visitors what we're really capable of." As the Zorgan shuttle lifted off from the UN lawn and disappeared into the sky, Dias turned to her colleagues. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said, "I believe we have some preparations to make. It seems our new friends want to play hardball. Let's make sure we're ready for whatever they throw at us." The room erupted into a flurry of activity as Earth's brightest minds began to plan and strategize. They had 24 hours to ready themselves for potential war with a spacefaring superpower. But in that moment, a sense of unity and determination filled the chamber. Humanity would face this challenge as one, and woe betide anyone who underestimated them. Miscalculation. As the 24-hour deadline approached, the Zorgan fleet took up attack positions around Earth. On the bridge of the flagship, Ambassador Xyloth sneered at the blue planet below. "These primitives have no idea what they're up against," he gloated to his second-in-command. Commence the assault. Zorgan warships unleashed a barrage of plasma bolts and antimatter missiles at Earth's orbital defenses, but to their shock, the attacks dissipated harmlessly against an invisible barrier surrounding the planet. Earth's quantum shield, a closely guarded secret, held firm. Before the Zorgans could regroup, Earth's own space fleet emerged from behind the moon. Sleek silver ships armed with advanced human weapons opened fire, catching the aliens off guard. The Zorgan ship shields, attuned to their own technology, offered little protection against human ingenuity. In mere minutes, half the Zorgan fleet lay in ruins, the survivors limping away in disarray. On his crippled flagship, a stunned Xyloth could only watch as his grand plans unraveled spectacularly. He had badly underestimated the humans and paid a steep price. As rescue pods ferried Zorgan survivors down to Earth, Xyloth realized how little his species truly understood about this unassuming world and its inhabitants. Humanity, it seemed, was full of dangerous surprises for the unwary. The Zorgan hegemony had met its match. The negotiating table. In the aftermath of the failed invasion, Secretary General Diaz once again invited the humbled Zorgans to the negotiating table. In a conference room overlooking the scarred New York skyline, she faced a chastened Ambassador Xyloth across the table. "Ambassador," Diaz began, "I believe we have some matters to discuss. Your unprovoked attack was a grave mistake, but even in our darkest hour, humanity chooses to extend an olive branch. We still believe peace and cooperation are possible, if you are willing." Xyloth, his once proud posture diminished, met Diaz's gaze with a mix of wariness and curiosity. "You have proven yourselves a formidable adversary," he admitted. "We clearly misjudged your capabilities. What are you proposing?" Diaz leaned forward. "A partnership. An exchange of knowledge and resources for the betterment of both our species. But first, there must be trust and understanding." She slid a datapad across the table. "This contains an analysis of your technology, Ambassador. Our scientists have identified several weaknesses that could be exploited should we deem it necessary. But it also highlights areas where we believe collaboration could yield great advances." Xyloth picked up the pad, scanning the data with widening eyes. The humans had decoded Zorgan technology to an astonishing degree. "You are offering to share this knowledge with us?" he asked incredulously. "In exchange for your own scientific insights and a commitment to peaceful cooperation, yes," Diaz replied. "The universe is vast, Ambassador. There is room enough for both our species to thrive, if we work together. But be warned, any further aggression will be met with the full might of Earth's defenses." The Zorgan delegation murmured amongst themselves, the weight of the choice before them sinking in. Finally, Xyloth turned back to Diaz, his silver features set in a look of grim determination. "We accept your offer, Secretary General," he said solemnly. "Let this mark a new beginning for both our peoples. The Zorgan hegemony is not accustomed to humility, but perhaps it is a lesson we needed to learn." Diaz allowed herself a small smile. "Then let us begin, Ambassador. We have much work ahead of us." As the meeting adjourned, a sense of cautious optimism filled the room. The road ahead would be long and fraught with challenges, but a new era was dawning. Earth and Zorgan, two disparate worlds shaped by the crucible of conflict, now stood on the brink of a future defined by cooperation and mutual respect. The galaxy would never be the same. An uneasy partnership. In the weeks following the agreement, human and Zorgan scientists began cautiously collaborating. Joint research facilities were established on Earth and Zorgan worlds, each team eager to learn from the other. However, trust was slow to build. Decades of militaristic expansion had left many Zorgans viewing other species as inferior, while humans remained wary of their former attackers. Old prejudices died hard. Cultural exchange programs sought to bridge the gap. Zorgan scholars studied human history and philosophy, while human students learned the intricacies of Zorgan art and music. Slowly, tentatively, understanding grew. But not all were happy with the new status quo. Hardline factions on both sides saw the alliance as a betrayal of their values. Protests erupted outside joint facilities, and rumors swirled of covert sabotage attempts. These tensions came to a head when a hidden bomb ripped through a shared research lab. Evidence pointed to the Zorgan Liberation Front, a radical group dedicated to preserving Zorgan supremacy at any cost. As suspicion and anger threatened to unravel a fragile partnership, leaders on both sides faced a critical choice: let the radicals drag them back to war, or take a stand for the future they had begun to build. Turning point. The aftermath of the bombing saw human and Zorgan authorities launch an unprecedented joint investigation. This historic cooperation, unthinkable mere months before, underscored the high stakes. Surveillance footage from the lab revealed a crucial detail. The bomber, a young Zorgan technician, had an unknown human accomplice. The uneasy alliance had foes on both sides. Secretary General Diaz and Ambassador Zoilov called an emergency summit. Standing together before a wall of cameras, they issued a call for unity in the face of extremism. Their message was clear. The future belonged to those who build bridges, not those who destroy them. Their words struck a chord. Across Earth and the Zorgan worlds, citizens of both species marched in solidarity against division and hatred. The silent majority had found its voice. In a poignant display, Zorgan engineers worked hand in hand with human counterparts to rebuild the destroyed lab, a powerful symbol of resilience in the face of adversity. In the end, the bombing suspects were apprehended by a joint human-Zorgan security team. They would face justice together, as equals under the law. The crisis became a catalyst. Faced with a common threat, humans and Zorgans redoubled their commitment to cooperation. New joint initiatives were launched in education, trade, and space exploration. What had begun as an uneasy truce blossomed into a true partnership. Years later, a human Zorgan expedition would make first contact with another species. This time, there were no ultimatums, no threats of conquest, only an outstretched hand of friendship from a united front. Earth and the Zorgan hegemony had chosen a different path, and the galaxy would never be the same. In each other, they had found not only allies, but a mirror, a reminder of the power of diversity, resilience, and the indomitable spirit that dwells within all sentient beings. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. For in the crucible of their shared struggle, an unbreakable bond had been forged, a testament to the truth that greatness is not the province of any one species, but the common inheritance of all who dare to reach for the stars.